Wow. Okay, Sonya, you're good to go.
Thank you, Tara and Megan. Oh my goodness. It's a lot to live up to what you just said, all the sweet things that you both said. I mean, I never ever take it for granted because I've been in the shoes of where you were explaining, Tara, that you and Megan were, where you looked up to someone who had trained you and they didn't even know it. And I've been on that side. And so I just, sometimes when we're going through struggles in our business and we go through pain in our life, even health issues, I'm going to tell you my story in a minute. We don't know when we're going through those things, why we're going through those things. And now that I look back I'll be 47 Friday, and I look back when I was 19 and I started in network marketing, and I was with a company for 17 years, one company. And then I've been with more. I've been in the business probably 25 years now. But I remember questioning myself, and I remember being trained by these people. At the time they were cassette tapes, and then they turned into CDs. I mean, hey, I've been through the 20s, the 30s, the 40s. Now it's on your iPhone. But I was in that company, and I remember learning from people who had more experience, who had already been there, and who already had bloody knees, and who they had lessons that I could learn from. And, it was my responsibility to either learn from those people or create my own the same lessons twice. And it's easier just to learn from someone else's mistakes. You're going to create your own. You're going to do that. And that's great. That's what we have to do. But don't try to just learn from someone else's lessons when you can. So thank you for having me on. What sweet words, what sweet women you are. And Helen and I think the world of you and what you guys have done in your state and on the surrounding states. And now you have people everywhere. It's just phenomenal. So kudos to both of you and your amazing team. So thank you for having me. I'm just going to share a little bit.
Sonya.
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
You have disappeared.
I have?
Okay, you guys shake your head if you can see Sonya. Yes or no?
We can hear you perfectly, but we can't see you.
And I need to see your face.
Well, I can see my face on the screen.
Now I see you.
There you are.
Okay. Huh.
That's weird. I've not seen anything change. But okay. Well, let me know. If we need to. Let me know if I need to stop again.
You're back.
So, technology, it's great, isn't it? So, I started network marketing at 19 years old, and I'll tell you that I started because I was in college. My aunt said, Sonya, you need to join this company with me, and you could put yourself through college, selling makeup and doing parties and, blah, blah, blah. And so at 19, I went to the bank, took out a business loan. My mom co-signed for me at 19, my first business loan, and I started my business. And I borrowed $1,000, and this was in 1989. Yeah, it's a lot of money. It's probably equivalent to, $2,500, $3,000 today. So when people say, talking about starting a Plexus business, it's just so affordable compared to what most businesses require. But I did that at 19, and I put myself through college with that business. I booked parties, coached my hostess, drove, showed up. Sometimes I'd sell nothing. Sometimes no one would show up. Sometimes I would sell a lot. I learned a lot of lessons through all that. And I ended up, I'll tell you that for about, a period in there, I was doing really, really well with it and didn't even realize I was doing really well with it. And my director called me and said, you need to go to convention. because you're going to win a diamond ring and you need to go and walk across that stage. You're going to get to be recognized. And I'm like, really? I'd never flown. So I bought a plane ticket and flew to Dallas. And I'll tell you that I caught the vision of network marketing right there. I knew it was the platform I wanted to be on for the rest of my life. I wanted the platform to inspire people, to breathe belief into people, to give people hope that they could do anything they wanted. And because that's what spoke to me. There was a lady on stage and she was sharing her story. And I remember, 19 years old, I remember sitting there. I might have been 20 by the time I went. I was just crying. Just tears were just flowing. And it really hit home that I could do this. Like, I could actually make my dreams come true. And in that, what I mean by that was I knew that I wanted what she had. She talked about time freedom. She talked about being home with her kids. She talked about playing a lot, traveling a lot, shopping a lot, and working it around. I thought, wow, this woman schedules her work around her life. I want that. And so that's what I wanted from day one. And so I came home from that convention and never missed. Guys, I'm telling you this for a reason. I tell you everything for a reason. I never missed another convention. 17 years straight. I never missed a convention. We had 3 a year, 3 different events a year. I never missed one. I went to 3 a year for 17 years. Pregnant, nursing, the whole bit. I do believe that in itself was key to where I am today. So if I could tell you one thing, it would be never miss an opportunity to grow yourself, to grow your business, to grow your strengths, to work on your weaknesses a little bit. There were things. Les Brown would do a workshop in Nashville. Zig Ziglar would come to Nashville. I remember going to see John Maxwell in Atlanta, Georgia. Like, this was all through my career. I would just hop in the car and go. And I could not afford it. That was a great business for me, but it was very unpredictable. The income one month might be $4,000 and the next month it might be $1,800. And for 4 months in a row, it might be $3,000 and then it dropped to $1,000 for 3 months. So to tell you that we got into a lot of debt is an understatement. And so I came home from that convention that year, and I never went back to college. My senior year, I came home and I said, I'm going to win my car and go to the top. And I came home, and in 4 months, I won my car. I never went back to school my senior year. Don't do that. But I knew, and I'm telling you this because I'm going to say, I know that you know what I'm about to talk about. When you make a decision to do something, sometimes it's like just a decision. You go, yeah, I'm going to make a decision to do that. And then when life happens, you kind of let life get in the way. It kind of like, it's not as concrete as it was the minute you made it. But then there's other times in your life you made such a clear heart decision that it was like your line was so far in the sand that the minute you made the decision, you just knew that you knew that you knew. I mean, it was like a light switch turned on and nothing would stop you. See, I don't believe in order to reach a goal, a big goal, that you need to know the how-to before you set the goal. I believe you set the goal because it comes from your heart and you know that you know that you know. God keeps telling you and showing you the vision that you're going to be an emerald. So you set the goal and you feel that shift, and all the how-tos will take care of themselves. So when the goal is big enough, the how-to will take care of itself. Now, also, the minute you draw your line in the sand and it's definite, the devil also then starts working. And he will start after you. And here's what I'm telling you. I'm not being negative. I'm not a negative person. But I'm a realist when it comes to things you need to know. you need to be aware that life is going to happen. Life is going to happen. People will disappoint you. You know, I've always heard people are the best part of your business and people are the worst part of your business. It's true. I mean, people will disappoint you. But when you're aware that the minute you set your line in the sand, you're fully aware, okay, I got to be ready and armored for all the things that are about to come down on me, because they will. What that does is it helps you muster up the strength, helps you rely on God more. You know, okay, Lord, you gave me the dream. I know you're going to teach me a lot of lessons through getting there. I mean, it's the attitude you got to have. It's the outlook that you've got to have on the journey in order to get through it. So 17 years of that business, I loved it. I loved it. I loved it. But in the last probably, I don't know, 4, 5, 6 years of that business, I started getting really burnt out. I started feeling like I was giving it my all. I was giving it 100%, but I just couldn't get ahead. And so I gave up. I woke up one summer and I was really sick, and that's what started me thinking, you know, I'm too stressed out. I'd won my colorful Cadillac. How about that? And it was so stressful, and I thought, you know what? It's time to give this up and do something different. I've got to get healthy. I'm sick. And so for about 2 years, I was very, very sick. And so I just wanted to get well. So I went to doctor after doctor. They finally, you know, gave me a diagnosis. And it was, you know, one of those things where they, you know, can't really diagnose you. So they just tell you it's, you know, whatever. And it was where most days you couldn't hug my body. It hurt so bad. I know we can't say what we have and all that, but y'all get what I'm talking about. And I'm going to put my glasses on. I'm seeing the little chats pop up here. But I thought, okay, I'm going to try to get well for 2 years, and that's what I did. But in that time frame, I've tried a couple other network marketing companies at home. They didn't require parties. They didn't require much travel. You know, didn't require inventory. So I thought, well, these will work, but wasn't the right timing, wasn't the right product, wasn't the right compensation plan. So I went to work in sales because I knew something about myself, and you've got to know your passion. My passion has always been to help other people believe in themselves. Like, I believe the best in people till they prove me wrong. And I just knew that I couldn't really do this in retail sales. So I did, you know, we were out of money. We were living more than paycheck to paycheck at this point. We had drained everything we had for 2 years. And I was better, but I was not well. I had been band-aided, you know, I was on a lot of medications. And so I went to work in sales, and I also invested over $100,000, well over 100 actually, in 2 brick and mortar businesses.
Wow.
And yeah, not everybody knows that. I forget to tell every little detail, and I'm not going to spend all night talking. I'm
trying to talk all night, sis.
I'm trying to teach you some lessons of where my heart was and mindset in the journey, hopefully to relate and connect to a lot of people that may be going through what I was going through. And so the last job, that didn't work out. I bought those businesses in 2008, right before the crash, and it just was bad timing. And I wasn't making any money, and so I had to go get a real job, and I had to hire somebody to work those businesses. So I went and applied for a job at Verizon Wireless, which is where Michelle Thomas was the boss. And some of you know Michelle. She's my other best friend. Her and Helen are my 2 best friends. Michelle hired me at Verizon, and we've become really, really good friends. And so when I left Verizon, because it was so stressful, Thomas quit Verizon, and I was off working somewhere else. We really become good friends. So I had pretty much said, I will never do network marketing again. But even though I said that, I knew I still believed in what I wanted. I knew that I wanted to be home. I knew I missed those years of working for myself. So I never really, I really believe if God gives you the dream, I don't believe he ever will take that away. I believe we can buy into excuses. We can allow fear to make us think that we don't need that anymore. But I really believe if he ever gave you that dream in your heart, that it's our responsibility to keep going, keep believing, even if we're putting it on the burner, looking for the right thing, and he will provide. So Helen called me in September of 2012, and I was working at Clayton Homes, selling mobile homes. I loved it. I loved that job, but I tell you what I hated was working retail hours. I hated working Saturdays, and I hated missing out. I just did. I felt like I could do more. And so Helen called me and said, okay, we're going to try something called Plexus. It's this little pink drink. I know we swore we would never do network marketing. She said, I'm not kidding. I just have a feeling. She goes, Sonya, as much as we make fun of that we would never do that again. And we pretty much were like, we'd slap anyone who brought it up. I mean, it was that bad, y'all. We were against it. She said, as much as we don't want to do this, for me to know this is what we're supposed to do, it's only from God. It's totally from God. I'm like, yeah, it's got to be. It's got to be. So we jumped on board September 4th, 2012. And I remember saying to her, I don't want to tell anyone for the first week that I'm doing a business because I've already done 3 or 4 and my credibility is shot. I just want to try the products. If they're amazing, then we're gonna put it out there and we'll go to the top because the compensation plan looked amazing. And so, guys, we got that product, and the first day we knew we had something. The first week, my life changed. My health changed. Lost weight, but most of all, my health changed. Sleeping patterns, energy, my discomfort in my body went away. Cholesterol dropped 51 points the first month. I was able to come off all my medications. My life changed. So I started telling everyone. And because I started telling everyone, I live in a town of 7,000 in the whole county, about 1,000 or 1,500 maybe in my town of Loboville, but 7,000 roughly in my county. 2 red lights, real small. Word travels, and it kind of went haywire. And I remember saying, we're taking this all away. No one knew what Plexus was. My mindset could have very well been, oh my gosh, people can't afford it. We have the highest unemployment rate of any other county in the United States of America in 2007 and 8. I could have said that. I could have said, oh my gosh, I've had people, call me panicking about they're taking the accelerator and that they had high blood pressure and I didn't even know it. I didn't even ask. I was just selling everybody everything. And I mean, I had all kinds of things that I could have just quit. I could have used every excuse. We didn't have catalogs. We did not have catalogs. We didn't have brochures. The only video I know of, Sheila Medina had 1 or 2 just, homemade videos that I watched, but there was no training, hardly any testimonies, just a few. I remember me and Helen would be on the call with Patty and Sheila, Patty, and Coach and Deborah on Monday nights or Sunday nights. And that's where we were hearing testimonies. And so, Sheila Medina sponsored Helen, and Helen sponsored me. And Helen and I joined the same day, like 5 minutes apart. We're a team, and we knew it together. And so we joined in September. And we just believed, like the minute we loved the product, we knew we were taking it all the way. No amount of people not liking the product, no amount of people saying I can't afford it, no excuses from anyone. We didn't care. We believed in our dream. We believed in our why so much that we did not care what people thought about us. We didn't care what people said about us. We didn't care. I knew that I knew. My line was in the sand this time. So Not that it wasn't before, but it truly was the right products with the right company at the right time. It was the perfect storm. I said that from the beginning. So 10 weeks later, I was able to quit my job, and I hit gold that month. And then 3 months after that, I hit emerald in March, and then hit diamond in July. And people say, well, how did you do it so fast? And I say, I didn't do it fast. It took me 20 years. It literally took me 20 years. You can't expect to be a professional in your industry in 3 months, in a year. You can't. How many of you would go to a brain surgeon who said, well, I've only been to school for a year and a half, but you know what? Let me practice on you. I mean, I'm probably pretty good. No, you want someone who knows their stuff. Now, do you have to know all the details? No, I knew nothing. I was excited. I knew the products were amazing because of what they did. I didn't know what was in them. I didn't really care. People don't need to know so many facts. They want to know more stories. Facts tell, stories sell. And I lost my train of thought. It could be that 4 hours of sleep I had from the election last night. Y'all, I'm telling you, wow. But I truly did lose my train of thought. Let me.
You said that you went diamond, and how did you do that so quickly?
Okay. All right. So I was probably, Helen was the second diamond, and I was somewhere between the third and the eighth because there were 5 of us that hit that next month. Helen hit in June. Sheila hit in May. Helen hit in June, and me and 4 more hit in July. So one way that you know that you're in the right company, and for me it was really clear. I had been in that one company for 17 years, and I never had one. In order to get to the top in that company, you had to, and I was a director. So once you hit the director position, in order to get to the top, which is national, you had to have 10 first-line directors and 8 under them. So you had to have 18. I'm going to use this as a parable here. You had to have 18 emeralds or higher, okay? Same type of level, same type of sort of, maybe even just rubies. We make a lot more at emerald than a lot. Anyways, crazy. So I, after 17 years, did not have one person on my team that was a director. I had not developed any leaders, okay? I had maybe one person on my team in 17 years that would earn $200 or $300 a month for 2 or 3 months, and then that was it. I don't know that I ever had anyone that earned $500 a month ever, more than 2 or 3 months in a row. So maybe one person that earned it, I want to say maybe 6 months she did, but that was it. Now, I say that to say, even as a gold ambassador, I had people as silvers on my team making that. When I hit ruby, I had people under me making 4 digits a month, and they were right behind me on my coattail. When I hit emerald, I probably had 10 people making close to 1,000 a month or 1,000 a month. And then when I hit emerald and then diamond, it's like, we went to Hawaii that year, and we took 3 or 4 people. We'd only been in 10 months. I never won a trip with that other company, guys. And this was my 4th trip to Hawaii, and we had 60-something people on our team there with us. That's how you know you're in the right company. When other people on your team is making a living. You don't grow like we've grown from when I joined the company. We had 18 jewels. We had 18,000 ambassadors. And now we have over 400 and something thousand ambassadors and 400 to 500 jewels. You don't grow that way in 4 years unless the products and the comp plan are amazing. You cannot do it. can't tell me otherwise. You just can't do it. Most people quit too soon, and that's why they never get there. There's nothing wrong with them, because here's what people do. I've been in 3 months. I can't get anybody to, my friends aren't liking my post. Everybody's saying, no, not right now. I can't get anybody. And then 6 months goes, and you go, well, I've had 3 customers, and 1 has returned the product. Okay. If you haven't been in a year to 2 years to build trust and credibility, I want you to turn it around. I mean, turn it around and think about you watching your friends on social media and you talking to knowing your friends who are selling something else. You know, you're sitting there thinking, I wonder if that's a good product. I'm going to kind of watch and see what they do, and we'll see how long this lasts. Like, I know this is me. You know, this is my, I think, I wonder if they're going to stick this out. I wonder what about that product. And I just kind of sit back and watch. And it's almost always, they're not even in it in 6 months. They've quit posting. I don't hear about it. Most people quit because it's easier to quit than to push through your fear. People don't want to push through their fear. You know, misery loves company. And fear is comfortable. Even being broke is comfortable. We know how to be broke. I knew up until Plexus how to write a check on Thursday and beat it to the bank. I knew how to play that game. And that was comfortable for me. Even though it was miserable, it was comfortable. I knew how to play that game. People know how to be broke. So most people will not push through the fear because it's just uncomfortable. It's unfamiliar. It's scary. They're afraid of success. What if I pushed through? And then, I remember 6 months in, hitting Emerald, and I remember getting that check, that first Emerald check. Helen and I earned the first Silver Star trip. We were the guinea pigs for you guys. And we won that in March. We just hit Emerald. Now they don't let you, after we won it, they changed it to, you had to be senior Ruby or below. But that month we win, and we were standing in the airport on April 15th. We'd just flown to Phoenix and met with our husbands. We were going on to home office for that trip, and we got our checks there, and we looked at them. At the time, you didn't get them until the 15th. You didn't see what you made till the 15th. And we looked at the checks, and we just started crying. And we were like, this can't be real. It was 5 digits. It wasn't 4. It was 5 digits. And we were like crying. And we were like, I remember all these emotions of, what if I can't keep it? What if I can't maintain this? What if it goes away? What if I don't pay enough in taxes? What if I change? What if I become someone I don't like? What if I lose friends? What if? Y'all, even good things can cause you to sabotage yourself because it's unfamiliar. So you have to work on your self-talk of, it feels so comfortable earning $150,000 a year or more. Whatever the number is in your head, always say or more. It feels so good to earn diamond pay and then some. You have to protect what you're saying to yourself. And, one thing that people can agree on, all speakers, all trainers, all scientists, everybody, is that we become what we think about. That's the truth. If all we do is think about what a bad salesperson we are and how shy we are and how, we wish we were this, and if we were better at this, and if that's all we talk about all day, how can you plant corn and get corn? If you're planting corn, if you plant corn, you're gonna get corn. But how can you plant, carrots and expect corn. I mean, you've got to put in, it's biblical. If you put this in, you're going to get this. It's just simple. So why is it we beat ourselves up because we're not hitting a goal? When you look back at your self-talk that month, I bet you kept yourself from it. I mean, it's just, we all are guilty. We're all guilty, Casey, of that. We're all guilty of that. So, we're leading a volunteer army. We are leading a volunteer army. Our mindset has to be, I'm going to lead by example. I'm going to work every day and work my business for a solid hour a day. Like, I'm not listening or doing anything with anyone else or my team. I'm taking 1 hour a day, and this power hour is all about me. And I get to work on my prospects and my future customers and follow up with my level ones, and let that 1 hour be about you. And then the other hour or 2 or 3 or whatever can be about your team and, marketing on Facebook. But that 1 hour every day, treat it like you have a boss who says, Tara, if you do this every day for 1 year, I'm going to pay you $119,000 and you're going to hit the emerald position. But you got to do this for 5 days a week for 1 year. And you would do that. But why is it with ourselves we don't? Because it's so easy to let ourselves off the hooks. And I'll just, challenge you to think about regretting your life versus pushing through the pain of changing it. It's easier to, not easier. To me, it's more rewarding, even though it's tough to push through the pain of change, than to look back one day and regret. Regret allowing someone saying something to us that held us back. So people are designed for success, but they're conditioned for failure. That came out of John Addison's book. I love that book. John Addison, who was at convention, it's called, oh my gosh, what's it called, y'all? I'm on 4 hours of sleep and paint fumes. We're painting in here. What was this book, John Addison? I've got it over there. I have to go get it. I'm sorry. It's a great book, John Addison. You can probably Google John. Real leadership. Anyway, this
is it, guys. So good.
It's a fabulous book. It's a fabulous book. It's an easy read, and it's very, very good and basic and very interesting. Hold your attention. A very good book to read. Also, another great book to read is Business of the 21st Century by Robert Kiyosaki. Business of the 21st Century, Robert Kiyosaki. Great book. There's a lot of great books. What to say when you talk to yourself. I know a lot of you have done that on this team for sure, and that's been a very, very influential book in my life. But, I know I've talked a lot. So I'm going to, I'm going to just say that, you really need to focus on what you can control and not what you can't control. And what you can control is your effort. You can control your perfecting your own skills. You can control your time, your power hour. People go, oh, I just couldn't do that. I couldn't get that hour in today. I've got 4 kids. I'm homeschooling. But okay. But if you need money and you were about to go get a job working for someone else, let's figure out how to carve out an hour. If you have to get a babysitter for an hour, or teach your children that when you put the sign on the door for 1 hour, you're going to reward them when you come out if they don't come in. Whatever it is you got to do. But, you can control what you do with your time. You can control your efforts, but not the results. So don't worry about the results. Focus on the effort. The results will take care of themselves. Remember that motivation is followed by action, not action followed by motivation. a lot of people feel like, they're wanting to dial that phone and call someone on the chicken list, but they're scared to death. And they're like, oh, if I could just get motivated. I'm just not motivated. If I could just get over this fear. When really, if they just push through the fear and say, why am I doing this? And envision themselves going, okay, Sonya, I don't want to pick up the phone, but here's the deal. When I pick up that phone, make that phone call, and Susie says yes, here's what it's going to look like. It's going to do this. It's going to spiral. She's going to be my next gold. Oh, my goodness, it's going to do this. It's going to do that. And get yourself psyched up. Pick up that phone, call Susie, and watch what happens. And then Susie's going to go, you know what? I am ready. I've been watching your post for 9 years, and I am ready. I'm ready to do this. And then you're going to go. You're going to hang up the phone and go, yes, I'm motivated. And then you're going to want to do more action. So action causes motivation. Don't ever forget that in that order. So I'm going to stop. I've talked a lot longer than I had planned on talking. My voice is about to give out. And I'm going to open it up to however you do this for 5 to 8 minutes to see if there's anything we need to address.
Sonya, what did you say? How did you word that when you said, don't worry about, what did you say? Don't worry about the outcome, worry about can you say that again?
Yeah, focus on the effort.
Not the outcome.
Not the result.
The
results will take care of themselves. They always do. Yeah.
I think that's
I used to have
because we worry about the outcome so much that it almost hinders what we're going to do because we're so worried what the person's going to say back and, if they're really going to join us or if they're not. But just worry about the action, like actually doing it and that part of it, and then the outcome will come. I love that.
And you'll get real motivated when you're doing the action, and you just say, the action is part of my checklist today. My boss said, I've got to talk to 5 new people today somehow. And once I get that done, I can play and I can reward myself, and you'll be motivated when you do that, which will then cause you to want to do more and believe in yourself more, and it'll give you that confidence to keep going. And people feel your confidence, and when you start getting confident, you'll start getting better results. It's a spiral. So you've got to push through the fear in order to ever get to that point. People say, I wish I were more like you, and I wish I were more bold, and I wish, well, you can be, but you can't wish it. You got to make it happen. Mm-hmm. And then you will become that person that you see that you want to be. You got to visualize where you want to be every day too. You can't wake up and just want something. You got to see it. You may say you want to be in Hawaii, but are you really seeing it? I mean, even the Bible talks about the people perish without vision. If you can't see it and smell it and feel it, how it's going to feel, it's going to be hard to connect that want with the reality. Your mind and body's got to connect that feeling. We're emotional people. Yeah. So,
and that was something, Tara and Shonda are both on here. That was something I said to both of them when we started. I could see it. I could see what we could do. It was like, until I could see it though, I didn't know that it was going to happen. But it was once I saw that vision of what could happen, that was so huge. And we talk about that a lot, is seeing that vision and knowing that you are going to be there and saying that out loud and, claiming that.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you'll win if you don't quit. The old saying, quitters never win and winners never quit. I mean, that's just true. I mean, I got people that watch me now 4 years that joined one last month, that's watched me for 4 years. It's like, what? It's their timing.
Yes.
Their timing, yeah. So
it is. It's their timing. And that's something that people need to remember too, is it's not personal. It's not that you've done anything wrong. It's about them, and it's just not the right time. But when it is, they're going to go to the person that they see being crazy passionate and, that's reached out to them and spent time loving on them and connecting with them. So
you got to build trust with people. So that's right, and credibility, and that's by being consistent in your message.
Yes.
And that's not just your message on Facebook, but just consistent in your message. You can't blame your team if you're not where you want to be. You can't blame your team. You got to look inward and go, maybe I just need to do more personal activity, and and they'll catch on. It's a volunteer business. You may have 10 people on your team, but in 3 months you're going to have 2 or 3 that really want it. You might have 2 or 3 that are just kind of hanging in, and the other 2 or 3 are going out the door. A third to a half are always going out the door. And I'm not being negative. I'm giving you a very reality piece that you can be aware of in this industry. It's numbers and it's people.
It is a numbers game. And then you've got to find out, you watch people's feet and not their mouth, right? So ones that are really doing what they're saying they want, and that's who you run with and spend 80% of your time with those 20% of your people.
80-20 rule, never fail you. I was looking at the chat, and I remember a Lauren being in New Orleans. I can't picture your face, Lauren, but I remember
red hair. She has red hair.
Let me look here on the screen. It's just fun. I love to